You know, one of my favorite things about the Black in the Saddle community is that we always find each other. Mathena Washington came into my world through a mutual friend who is also a connector and community builder. His name is Brandon Alexander. He has an episode. You should check it out. But he is someone who looked at us both and said, y'all need to know each other. And that is the whole premise around kinship. My name is Abriana. I'm the host of this podcast, Black in the Saddle, where we acknowledge the impact and the influence of Black people on the horse industry. Now, Mathena is a Colorado-based equestrian. She's a model, event producer, and she is a candidate for Miss Black Rodeo USA. But what she is really doing is building a lot of things. She is founding the High Plains Legacy Riders Foundations, running a youth program called Lead the Legacy. She's founding the High Plains Legacy Riders Foundation, running a youth program called Lead the Legacy, and bringing inner city kids in Denver face to face with horses for the very first time. She's doing all of this with a level of strategy and intention that stopped me mid scroll and that I really admire. She honestly wasn't even planning to enter the Miss Black Rodeo USA pageant. She showed up to a rodeo to do interviews and ended up on the phone with the director of the pageant, and boom, boom, boom. Here you are. Or here she is. She wasn't even planning to enter this pageant. She showed up at the rodeo to record some content, ended up meeting another mutual friend of ours, Abe Morris, and he is a connector. He connected her to one other person who did this and this and this. You're going to have to hear about it in this episode. This conversation is really about community, horses, and what it takes to build something truly special. I'm excited for you to tune in to Mathena's story. Let's get into this episode. Count us in, and we'll get started.
All right.
All right. And 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait, hold on. Can you pronounce your name for me? Let me say it right.
Mathena.
Mathena. Okay. That's what.
Yes.
Okay. It was about to come out, and I was like, wait, I did not ask.
Thank you for asking.
All right. And 3, 2, 1. Hello, Mathena. Welcome to Black in the Saddle. I'm so happy to have you here.
Hi, thank you. I'm so honored to be here and be a part of your podcast today. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Now, Mathena and I were connected through a mutual friend, Brandon Alexander. Shout out to you, Brandon. I appreciate you so much, friend. And I say that to start this conversation because this is one of my favorite things about community. People will see and say, hey, you know, I know this person, I know these people need to be connected. I know this person has something amazing to say, and this person's doing great work. I need to connect these people because of the good vibes, good energy, and they need to know each other. And that is something that I thoroughly appreciate that has happened within the Black in the Saddle community. And I feel like it kind of speaks to just the caliber of people who are involved in the Black in the Saddle family. So
Love
you
it.
are now part of the Black in the Saddle family, and I'm so happy to to really hear from you today about how you got here and where you are going. So let's start with the how you got here for people who are coming across you for the very first time. What was your first connection to horses or Western culture?
Yeah, so my very first connection, my parents and grandparents have always told me I was like at the age of 3, and my dad had put me on the back of a horse, and whether whether it be like a pony ride or
Mhm.
at a friend's ranch. And I like have photos. I just asked my parents for all these photos. I was like, hey, do you guys have any pictures of me riding when I was a kid? And they were like, actually, yeah, we do. So my grandparents fed into that on both my maternal and paternal side. And so anytime I was with either one of them, it was always like, okay, we have to figure out how we can get her on the horse.
Mhm. Mhm.
um, and growing up, I was born in Boulder, Colorado, and then I moved around a lot when I was a little kiddo, and ended up in Georgia for about 9 years
Okay.
and lived with my mom and my grandparents on my mom's side.
Mhm.
And they had their own little property across the street. They had horses. So, of course, I was going every weekend I could possibly go, even if it was just to pet them.
Mhm.
Started growing up and, being able to make my own decisions and choices. And so, as a teenager, in Georgia, I volunteered at a ranch that was more of they had like you could stay, it was more like a resort kind of thing, and then they had the trail riding. So
Mhm.
I went and I always volunteered there every summer. They were like, oh my gosh, we're so excited to see you, and lots of hands-on opportunities, always volunteer based, and then like in trade for ride time.
Mhm.
So I'm very naturally gifted when it comes to riding in general, and I
Mhm.
think I've just been blessed with that skill.
Mhm.
And now, as a young adult, I've got even more opportunity, and more doors are opening to be able to work and ride, paid, unpaid, voluntarily. I'm very give back to my community kind of person. So I'm like, my heart's content if I can just be around horses.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were in Georgia.
Mhm.
You're volunteering. You have this natural talent. Tell us how do you get back to Colorado
Yeah.
and start kind of understanding that this is the lifestyle that you wanted to pursue, or
Mhm.
career that you wanted to pursue.
Yeah, so it actually there was a gap where I wasn't writing. It was probably 3 years, if I'm about exact.
Mhm.
When I was a teenager, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna give my dad a chance to be a dad and help raise me. And so like that's a very mature thing as a teenager.
Mhm.
Not very many teenagers are able to do like make large decisions like that. So I moved across the country to Colorado where my dad was, and he's been here since he's graduated from college himself, and even younger than that. He's been here longer than that, but he's originally from Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
So very Southern family. I,
I was
I
about to
love
say
it.
you got roots in the
Yeah,
South.
I do. And both my mom and dad were very athletic.
Mhm.
So when I moved in with my dad, he was like, "You have no choice. You're going to play sports." I was like, "Oh boy." Like, here we go. So I picked volleyball, and then in the spring, he was like, "Great, you're going to run track." And I was like, "No, you will never catch me running." Like for a very athletically built I am, like I'm not a runner. Like you won't catch me doing any kind of 5K or 10K. I'll ride the horse.
Right.
It's yeah, and then I ended up playing golf in the spring. So that kind of has been there in my athletic history. And then I just found time to go to local barns right in the Denver area. And I was like, hey, so do you guys need any help? Like, how can I help you? I'm a horse girl. That started building up here. I worked at a ranch in Aurora, Colorado for a while and absolutely loved it. Then I went off to college. I got a college scholarship to West Texas A&M University in Amarillo, Texas, and I love my school because they are an agricultural school.
Yes.
But to build off of that, I was actually very intimidated um, going into college, and my original degree was equine business and management.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to own my own barn, learn how to operate it, but I ended up getting into a couple classes that were like horticulture and grass types, and I was just very behind a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the other kids in class, behind a lot of and don't get me wrong, my deans and professors, even in being in the panhandle of Texas, were all for me being in those classes. And it was very eye-opening because some areas are still very like, they kind of give you the side eye of like, you're a black cowgirl, like, I don't think so, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I ended up switching my major to broadcast journalism. So I graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism. I still got my horse fill while I was in college. I was able to take like the electives that were like Western riding or hunter jumper riding classes. And so I've been able to learn both English and Western disciplines, which was fantastic. The only reason I didn't join the rodeo team and the equestrian team was because of the running.
I didn't
I
even know you had
would,
to run to join those
yes.
teams. I mean, I guess it's
Oh,
part of conditioning, but
yep.
it was
Yeah.
required.
They were like, yep, every Friday we run a mile. And I was like, uh,
Who is we?
thank you.
I'm just gonna take the
Like,
class.
I
I
think I'll
know.
just record. But and I ended up with my broadcast journalism degree going and interviewing like our rodeo team and our basketball and soccer teams, whether that be the head coach or the players.
Hmm.
And as a Division II college at the time, I was like, why do we not have these programs already launched? Why do we not have sideline reporters? And so I kind of fell in love with a little bit more of sports in that realm, in that field, and ended up launching the program into kind of a higher level, into higher programs. A couple kids behind me came out of it very successful, and I'm still very, very proud of them and very proud of my alma mater in general. But yeah, so then
Oh.
once I graduated, COVID kind of hit. So I was in Florida for a little bit coaching volleyball, living with my grandparents. And then I was like, okay, I think I need to go back home to Colorado. Like, feel like I was in a very small town in Florida.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like, it was very like, hey neighbor, I'll, let me mow your lawn while you're away, or, very, very small town feel. And I love that feel, but only for like a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And for somebody who's like growing in their career, you need a bigger city to do that in. So I came back home to Denver and I've been here since 2021. I love it. I'm connected with my family ever more than I have been. My mom just moved up here from Georgia. So
Mm.
I've got my whole family here now and I feel like I feel whole.
Yeah, yeah. I love I love that you were not afraid to return. You
Mhm.
know, sometimes when people move away, they're like, "Oh, I can't go back because that means I'm
Yeah,
going backwards." But you identified that, where I'm at is not going to serve me to my biggest potential.
right.
So I need to, even though I'm going back, it's a better place for me.
Yeah.
You talk about how your background in sports kind of evolved a little bit. Um and now you're entering this competition for
Yeah.
something completely not completely different. It's rodeo, it's still
Mhm.
sport, but it's just different from what you grew up doing. So I want to talk a little bit about how your background in athletics
Mhm.
and then this connection with horses, like how have they shaped your confidence, your discipline, your leadership? You mentioned being a coach. Like how do
Mhm.
you how does that background contribute to
Mhm.
this identity that you have that you're competing with?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of athletics is like you're very meticulous and responsible.
Mhm.
Now, both of the sports I played, volleyball and golf, are individualized team sports. So even though I'm on a team for volleyball, there's 6 players on the court at the time. I am the only middle blocker on the floor at the time. So I have to do my job to the best of my ability
Mhm.
in order for my team to succeed. Same thing with golf. Like I'm on a high school team, we have to average really low so that our school goes to regionals. Now, I was only like second best on golf. I'm still not fantastically great, like, but it's an enjoyable sport for me. My dad and I go play, and we actually need to get back into playing, but
Yeah.
um, transferring those disciplines into kind of who I am and what I'm doing today all kind of evolved even through college. Like I just played volleyball in college and then focused on my degree. And with the structure of college brought on a lot of um what's the word for it? It's like not just responsibility, but time management.
Mhm.
My time management has been improved immensely. And so transferring all of that into being a young adult who, like, when you come out of college, there's no structure. Like, you get to do whatever you want to do. And so sometimes at times, like, I felt very behind because I was like, well, these people have jobs or these people have careers. These people are doing X, Y, and Z. And I was like, I don't really know how to handle some of these things. And so I've taken life very like one day at a time, being very grateful for any and all opportunities that present themselves. I am a faith-based young woman, so I do put God first in a lot of the things, and that's been a spiritual journey on my own as well. Um, and as I've always had it in me to want to teach others what a better way than what I was taught, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Mhm.
And so, for example, like I had not a great high school coach for volleyball. No shots to her, but I went to college and I played collegiate sports, and I was like, my gosh. Like, I was only in a Division II college, but 2 days up at 5 a.m. and then you have practice again at 5 p.m. and you got to figure out your classes around that. And now you're traveling and you're a student athlete, so you're a student first and then you're an athlete. It's a lot of responsibility for people who have never had that before. And then coming out of it, like you're a whole nother person, a whole nother being, because now that translates into whatever you're putting your mind and heart into. And so for me right now, that's being able to give back to my community. Um, Here in Denver, in the Midwest region of the country, there's not a whole lot of girls who walk around that look like me. And if they do look like me, they are probably lawyers, realtors, or I am going to say it like cheerleaders, athletes. Like I know a few athletes who look just like me, but they're like athletically inclined and they're sticking with that, and that's
Mhm.
absolutely fine. I just want to be able to open doors and present agriculture to I do live in the city, and
Mhm.
so I have access to a barn that is also in the city.
Yeah.
So being able to give our inner city kids the accessibility and knowledge that maybe they've wanted to learn,
Mhm.
but they're too afraid to say, "Hey, Dad, like I want to go ride a horse," you know?
Right. Right.
So just opening those doors. Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about what your relationship with the horse looks like now.
Mhm.
What you're doing, what you have kind of learned just recently that is something that you share with others.
Well, I've learned, I'm such a horse girl that I used to have like all of the horse books and know all of the colors and all of the things. But then again, even going in through college, like I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know horses had X amount of feet of intestine and I need to know what each part of the swiggle is. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But as a young adult now, I am I'm at a rescue in Centennial, Colorado called Mile High Equestrian and Rescue, and I'm so honored to be working. It's women owned,
Mhm.
and both of the owners are fantastic women. One teaches English and one focuses a little bit more on Western and Western pleasure.
Mhm.
And I have four horses in my rotation right now. One is for adoption, one is a client's horse, one is a green horse, so he's a baby, and that's kind of my favorite things to work on is the babies. And then I have an ex-roping horse who you'll kind of see on my social media platforms. He's the one I ride most of the time.
Yeah.
Um, he is like afraid of life. And so what I'm learning with horses now is like they can have been through things just like humans. We could have been through very traumatic experiences or wonderful experiences at that and still be very afraid of something else that is like a flag.
Yeah.
I'm working with this horse right now and he's like afraid of his own shadow.
Mhm.
And it's like, we're just gonna take it slow. I don't have to freak out. You can freak out all you want, but as long as I don't feed into that, we're just fine. So,
Yeah, yeah. And let's talk about that a little bit more because I feel like, when I'm talking to the youth or even talking to someone about the value that horses bring, we talk about this emotional regulation and sense of care and
mhm,
responsibility that comes with being around horses and um that that one part. And this, I love working with little baby horses too. Like if I could just be paid like 6 months to a year and a half, like
mhm.
give him to me right then so that I can work through like
Yeah.
the drama. But it what it has required from me and what I
Mm,
tell people is, I have to be who I am for the horse. Like I have to be who the horse
yeah.
needs me to be.
Yeah.
If that horse is freaking out over, a plastic bag, I have to model the
Hmm.
behavior. I can't also freak out like, "What are you
Right.
freaking out about? It's just
Yeah.
a plastic." That
Yeah.
horse don't know what I'm saying. He just knows
Right.
that I'm freaking out too. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it
Yeah.
requires me to be the person I need to be for the horse and be in support of
Yeah.
this horse's learning and
Hmm.
that care for something outside of yourself. I think that's
Yeah.
where a lot of that emotional regulation and trust building and how can you then do that for your neighbor? How can you then
Yeah.
do that for people you work with, people you're in
Hmm.
school with, kind of thing? So how do
Hmm.
you share lessons like that
Hmm.
with, I know that you have a deep passion for educating youth. How do you
Hmm.
share those kinds of lessons with them?
Yeah, so recently I am launching a couple of different things. I'm working on launching my very first nonprofit called the High Plains Legacy Riders Foundation. Um, and underneath that, there's going to be a program called Lead the Legacy. And I actually just had my first group of kids out, and we didn't do any riding, but we just did horse education, groundwork, and learning how to groom and lead. And these kiddos had a blast, and their family to me, like I was like, how do I get some kids in like 2 days? I need some pictures taken. So I just
Mhm.
reached out to a really good family friend of mine, and she was like, yes, use my kiddos. And I was like, great, perfect. So um, being able to translate that education to them, it's also it comes into like the coaching play. As a coach, that transfers over to information. The information I'm telling you is important. But first of all, it's safety first, especially around horses. Now, I didn't put these kids in any kind of danger. These horses I picked were much older horses and they've been working with kids before, so um they saw me working with a different horse who I would not put around kids, but um, it's just a progress. We took about an hour and a half. I was like, this is what this tool is, the curry comb. This is a hoof pick. I want you guys to feel this. Like, it's not hurting the horse. Nothing I'm doing is hurting these horses.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very like absorbing, and you could see it in their faces. And one of the kiddos, he was like at the beginning deathly afraid. He
Mm-hmm.
was like, this horse is gonna get me, kind of thing. And I was like, it's okay, just stay calm. Like, we're gonna pet here and here and here, and I'm gonna teach you how to walk around the back and
Mm-hmm.
what to do. And then towards the end of the camp, like the it's technically a camp, but day camp,
Yeah.
and he was like, wait, but I don't want to go. And I was like, great, you get to come on back. And whenever you're ready, you come on back
Yeah.
and we will have the best time ever.
I love that. So tell me your vision for High Plains Legacy Riders Foundation. What does that look like in 5 years?
Yeah, well, the goal is the introduction now, which is the donations through the Lead the Legacy program that help build the financial foundation underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the registration of the name and all of that is coming, it's in the works already. And trademarks and all the business side of things is getting handled right now. But looking for land and property to be able to host these events on, the deeper behind the foundation itself, I want to be able to provide grants and scholarships for kids who are Black and biracial youth that want to be able to go to college with any kind of agricultural interest. Like, you could go to school to learn horticulture for that's fine, or you could go to learn equine business and management or cattle management or land registration or anything agriculturally based. But I really want it to be focused on our Black and biracial youth, and not just our Black kids, because there's a ton of Hispanic kids, and I have a family of an extended family of Hispanic background,
Mm-hmm.
and they are also very not informed,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a blast at Lead the Legacy. And
Mm-hmm.
so being able to just again open those doors for kiddos who they're all very intelligent. I can tell you that. The
Yeah.
kids that I've come across and the kids that want to come to the program, they all have something in their brain that triggers them to want to be like, I have to know this. I
Mm-hmm.
want to know more.
Mm-hmm.
And so me kind of standing here in our community as a pillar for that. Now, I don't own any property myself, but my grandparents have always owned their land and their property and their animals and their beautiful homes. And so that's kind of been instilled in me as a young kid, like, hard work pays off. And so that once that has been instilled in me, it's gonna continue to grow. And this is how I'm giving it back out into the world.
Yeah, yeah. The Kinship Conference is coming. Black in the Saddle is partnering with the Urban Culture Association of Black Cowboys and Cowgirls to bring to you this 2-day experience. This conference is designed especially for Black horse folks. I'm talking about Black cowboys and cowgirls, Black equestrians, or anyone who really just loves learning about this culture. We have over 28 speakers coming to deliver sessions and workshops on a range of different topics. We're going to have live music. We're going to have industry roundtables and panels. You need to be in the room. If you feel like you want more from your work in the horse industry, or you have been feeling alone in what you do, this is the event for you. Tickets are on sale at blkinthesaddle.com/kinship, or you can find the link in the show notes. So I feel like one of the ways that you are giving back
Mhm.
is through this campaign for Miss Black Rodeo USA. So I want to
Yeah.
talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit. How did you make the decision to run?
That's a great question. And I love telling this story because it's super cool. I, at one point, was reaching out to different organizations in the Black rodeo community and was like, originally, it didn't start off any that had nothing to do with the pageant or being a rodeo queen whatsoever. Um, I've never thought about being a rodeo queen. I've never thought about being in any kind of pageants, like none of that. I went to our National Western Stock Show this past January, and we make it a tradition now every year to go to our Black Rodeo, which is on MLK Day here in Colorado. And I ended up taking my partner with me to record, and I was like, hey, will you record? And I'm going to just do interviews. I'm going to just ask random people random questions about their favorite discipline in the rodeo. And we ended up running into a gentleman named Abe Morris, a
Oh,
pro bull rider.
good old Abe.
And I ended up interviewing him, and he called me like 2 days later and was like, you emailed me. Wait, you're the girl who interviewed me also. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's a small world. And he was like, well, tell me a little bit about you and what you're doing. Do you rodeo? I wish I rodeoed sometimes because I think I would be pretty good at breakaway roping. Like, because as a volleyball player, like I've got a real good shoulder and a good arm, good wrist motion. So if you know a good breakaway coach, let me know.
We're gonna
But
find you one. We'll find you one.
he put me in contact with Miss Lynn Spain, who is the director of the pageant, and she and I had a great phone call conversation. And at the end, towards the end of the conversation, she goes, well, now wait a minute. You went to school for broadcast journalism, so you can do interviews. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, you model. And I was like, yes, ma'am. She's like, so you could do like the pageant part, like that part's nothing. And then she goes, well, you actually ride horses. And I was like, yes, ma'am. Like, that's my favorite part of the whole thing. And so generally speaking, pageants do like, the 12, 13, 14, 15, and then they do like the 18 to the 20s and that age range. And we ended up talking a little bit longer, and she goes, wait a second, I didn't ask this question. How old are you? And I was like, I actually just turned 28. And this conversation was literally 2 weeks after my birthday. And she was like, we're changing the rules. She was like, the age limit's now 28. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. Like, when somebody gives you an opportunity and opens the door like that, there's no reason on earth why you shouldn't do something like that. And so, with her opening the door like that, it's now really just kind of boosted everything up like 100%. And like, I've had these thoughts of doing a nonprofit before. I haven't really I had not pinpointed like a purpose at that time. But with this door opening and now being able to, the pageant itself is just the platform. It's more about the education and the purpose of what I'm doing, not just here at home, but the word I'm spreading across the states. So that's why I decided to run for Miss Black Rodeo USA 2027. So I'm really excited. The pageant is going to be in August of this year in Little Rock, Arkansas, August 20th and the 21st. And I have family down there already, and they're like, we're looking at the like the event schedule, and we're gonna see you there. And I was like, yes.
Oh,
Love it.
I love that. I love that. So talk to me about what that preparation looks like.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a very go-getter kind of person. So as we were talking about earlier, like the competition is in me. Best of luck to all the other all the other queens and stuff who are or women who are running. It's on.
I love
That's what I want
that.
to say. Just because, let's see, my pageant preparation is I have a media team that was interested in expanding their portfolio, and they were like, fantastic, let's do this, because it's kind of like a little documentary style, but each event that we are meticulously booking and the people we're partnering with is all very, very, very meticulous.
Mm-hmm.
So I've put together like a campaign. I ended up finding a campaign manager. He is like just making sure I can connect with the right people, like especially here in Colorado with our state and our Senate and all those big boys up there in the Capitol building. Like I leave that part to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am working on finding sponsorships. I've actually found my hat partner, Justin Great.
I
He
love that.
is an amazing entrepreneur. He's been in the fashion industry. I'm getting ready to actually post it's like a 4 minute long video that we did on like the who, what, when, where, why, and his why purpose of why he wanted to support me means the world to me, and it's fantastic. So he's provided my hats for my competition. I'm working on securing a jewelry sponsor right now who will have all the beautiful jewelry that I'll get to wear. um, I'm going to start making appearances at our community events, um, dressed really nice. Like I just went to our Cinco de Mayo parade downtown and festival downtown Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dressed all in my cowgirl gear. And they're like, "Are you from Texas?" And I was like, "Nope, I'm from here." And I still get a lot of people who are like, "Oh, you ride horses? Like, where do you do that at?" And I'm like, "Actually, in the city. You'd be surprised. Like, I do ride, and I'm learning every day all kinds of new things. But
Mm-hmm.
the preparation timeline is appearances. I just did my campaign launch, so I invited my friends and family to a beautiful art gallery here in Denver, and had hors d'oeuvres and photos and an open bar for the time being. And I just told them about my mission and my purpose. Had a beautiful presentation, and I'll probably have to do another one here pretty soon, to get a couple more of the bigger people in the room. But that's kind of my preparation timeline. For the pageant itself, I have to have my application, my headshots, interview questions kind of done, that all kind of ties into the application itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to submit a horsemanship video. So the horse I've been working with, he's the one I want to submit with. And we're working on his right lead right now, because he's great to the left, but to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
right, it's like,
A little sticky.
nope, I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being a roping horse, they come out of that chute and head to the left. So we're working really hard on picking up his right lead right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll send us a pattern here in the next week or two so that we can practice,
Okay.
and we'll record, and then we'll submit, and we're off to the races.
I
So,
love it. I
yeah.
love it. Now, um, what I can already pick up as someone who in my other work does a lot of kind of business development stuff
Mhm.
is that your approach to this campaign is very strategic and detailed. Tell
Yeah.
me a little bit about how you knew to even approach the campaign in this way.
Mhm.
Was this from your background in broadcast journalism or your degree in that, or what other experiences kind of contributed to like, yeah, you need a campaign manager. Yeah, you need a media team. Like, yeah, because, and I ask this because sometimes we see things online and
Mhm.
we don't know what it took for someone to even know that they needed that.
Absolutely.
Or we don't see all the things that are happening behind the scenes to produce this one little 30-second clip that you really like, like there's just so
Yeah.
much behind it. So talk to me a little bit about how you even knew that this is how you wanted to approach this campaign.
Absolutely. Great question. Originally, the I was volunteering at this rescue before I even knew I was going to run.
Mhm.
And so I've kind of established my home base barn with them
Mhm.
a couple of days after I ended up finding a campaign manager. And so my thought process on that was, well, how do like politicians do all this kind of stuff, you know? And I did a little bit of research and I, followed Miss Rodeo America and um Miss Black Rodeo USA, kind of like picked through kind of their social medias and like, okay, well, how does that work kind of thing? Like I just sat down and brainstormed. And then with our abilities and capabilities today with AI helping us achieve lots of things, I literally just asked chat. And I was just like, hey, chat, so if I was to run for a pageant and a particular thing, can you break it down to me like this? And it broke it down 1 to 3 ABC. And all I did was I put on my Instagram, I said, does anybody know a campaign manager or like who can run campaigns? And the next day, the gentleman who's now my campaign manager had responded, and he was just like, I've run campaigns for all kinds of different politicians. I think this interests me a whole lot. I have kids that are mixed as well. Like, I think this would be something really cool to get behind. Then we had a meeting. And after our meeting, it was like a whole sheet of things that needed to get done. And I'm very like, okay, well, I'm not going to wait to get these things done. I'm not going to wait on him to get these things done for me. And I shouldn't like, they were on a timeline now.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I was like, okay, well, let me start breaking things down. What do I like? Okay, I like certain colors. I like certain foods. I would prefer in the rodeo world, like the alcohol is pretty big, like Crown Royal and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I take a different turn and I go like find some non-alcoholic sponsors or maybe a wine sponsor, something like that. Um, how do I find boot sponsors? And now I'm still in progress of like
Yeah.
finding other sponsors here in Denver that really fit into kind of who I am. And I have already been blessed with the people that are chatting with me now about sponsorship levels and what they're interested in investing in. And because they heard the campaign launch presentation.
Mhm.
And after that, they were like, we have to get behind this kind of thing. And then they were like, well, I know more people that would want to get behind this. And
Right.
so it's been uh, really by the grace of God, to be honest with you, that the thought of, well, the outline needs to be ABC 1, 2, 3. So,
Awesome. Awesome. That is very great way to utilize your resources, right? Because, AI has the opportunity to kind of fast track a lot of understanding
yeah.
for us, that maybe we would had to learn the hard way, learn by doing a lot of research and observing
Mhm.
how other campaigns are run, and but when it learns about how you like to receive information, it could definitely help you,
Yeah.
say, okay, this is how you get from point A to point B based on what I know about you and how you like to operate. So that is definitely what I use it for. But I'm happy to hear, you kind of took this outline,
hmm
but then made it your own, right?
hmm
Say, okay, this
Yeah.
is what normally happens, but
Yeah.
because of who I am and how I want to stand out, this
hmm
is what I'm going to do. Can you
hmm
talk a little bit about the importance of developing relationships as you have started on this campaign? I know you're in conversations with sponsors. You've had this event to articulate what it is you want to do. Tell me a little bit about those relationships and why those are important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the relationship, let's just we'll use Justin Great as an example.
Hmm.
He is a business owner, a designer. He just had his very first baby and is a dad. He's a marketing expert. I'll just start there. His platform, his social media, his building of hats in general creates an experience in itself. And I had experienced this, his experience of the hat building, actually a couple of years ago. My grandparents had passed away just that year, it was 2024, when I officially did like an experience with him. And he made a hat for me that represented my grandparents.
Hmm.
And so it was a beautiful experience there. And we have just kind of ran into each other a couple other times. He's invited me to some events. I've invited him to some events. Networking, especially as an entrepreneur for both of us, like very important. Very, very important. You have to know, and I've been taught this from a few different people, you have to know what you're doing there, why you are there, and what is your outcome of being there. And so a lot of my mission in the past few years has been I'm going to these places for a reason. Now, what is my reason? Could be anything under the sun. So I just so happened to email Justin and I was like, hey, here's my mission. This is what I'm looking for. I'm wondering if you are interested in being my hat partner. I couldn't think of anyone better to be a part of this. And he was like, I'm all on board. I'm all for it. And our experience there in his studio was beautiful. It was very one-on-one. I had my media team there, but it was mostly just about the craftsmanship and the
Hmm.
storyline kind of behind each hat because we built 3 hats while I was there. So
Hmm.
it was a fantastic time. And keeping in rapport with your network, your connections, you never know who those people might know who could put you into other rooms, or maybe they're already talking about you in those other rooms.
Yeah.
So, like even meeting Brandon, like he just came across my social media one day and was like, I just want to help you. Like, here's how I can help. And he has sent me so many great resources recently. And I'm very thankful for just his outreach and just support, even though I've never met him. Like
Hmm.
it's very,
Hmm.
very kind. So
Yeah.
there's still great people in this world.
Yeah, absolutely. What's funny is I came across Justin maybe about 10 days before I first came across your account. And
Wow.
then, like, 5 days later, got the message from Brandon. And I was like, what is happening?
Oh my goodness.
Because I just, I looked and I have so many Instagram accounts. So I try to I try to curate my algorithms. Like,
Right, right.
um, I have so many personal interests. I don't follow all of my horse folks on my personal account,
Mhm.
but I do it as
Right.
Black in the Saddle.
Hmm.
Um, and part of part of the evolution of Black in the Saddle is this kinship conference that's happening in November. And when I was thinking about the tenets of kinship and what that um, kind of entails, craftsmanship is one of uh,
Hmm.
those tenets. And so when I came
Hmm.
across Justin, I was like, oh, like that is
Yeah,
that's one of my people that I want to end up talking to about
yeah,
craftsmanship. So that's we'll talk about that later.
yeah.
But the fellowship and the relationships and the
Mhm.
camaraderie that comes within the horse industry at large, but also that within the Black horse industry and
Mhm.
all of the expressions of the Black identity within the horse industry. I feel like that's something that is um just so fruitful
Mhm.
and something that people really kind of lean on, from Abe. I went to his Black cowboy at
It's like the
NFR.
meet and greet.
Meet and
Yeah.
greet. Yes, yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. The word invitational was coming to mind. I was like, that's not it. I went to this meet and greet in Vegas because we had been in community, and he checks up on me too. I so appreciative of him, but your relationship with Justin, who ended up being your hat sponsor, came out of building that relationship over time. If
Yes.
you would have just showed up on day one, I mean, he may have still said yes,
Yeah.
but it was a no-brainer because of how you showed up and how you presented yourself over time, and how you made that connection kind of valuable over time.
Yes.
So, how do you see the work that you are doing with the Black Rodeo or yes, the Black Rodeo Jesus Christ. I'm like blanking. Miss
Miss Black
Black
Rodeo.
Rodeo. Yes.
Yes.
Miss Black Rodeo competition. And then your work with your nonprofit, and then you also do some events work. I don't want to skirt past,
Yeah.
the things that are still very real that are making some of this stuff possible for you. How do you manage all of these balls that you're juggling in the air?
That's a great question. I just last night was like, I feel like I have so much going on, but I'm not doing anything right now. And I'm like, help. But no,
Same.
literally, it's just a task list, like a to-do list. It's like, what's coming up? What do I need to plan for? Where or who is a part of what's going on? So something really, really big, especially in today's society, is our social media pages. And so, like, I'm launching content right now still of my hat build out with Justin, and now I'm also working on concept for my jewelry partner. Um, Probably next month we'll do a photo shoot, and I love doing photo shoots for one. That's one of my favorite things. Like just scheduling that out, having the idea, seeing it come to life, and then getting those images back. It's just like what a breath of fresh air kind of thing. So,
Mhm.
uh, I am in a business partnership with someone who's been running events for over 15 years.
Mhm.
And I came on board in 2021-ish, late 2021, to just elevate and help expand and bring in some kind of different insight to the company. And so we do a lot of things for our community, competitions. We're working on some seminars. The Lead the Legacy is a branch of our community outreach right now, and my part-time job is actually working for a catering and events company. So I like take all of that knowledge of weddings or corporate and then instilling it into not only my campaign launch, but the events that we do in our own company as well. And seeing it just kind of mold, start from like this clay into a beautiful vase. And it does take some time, don't get me wrong. Like it's taken a few years for things to get off the ground or for bookings to start coming in, but it's all literally just been by the grace of God and a schedule. my calendar my calendar is my best friend right now
Mhm.
because I couldn't do it without it. So
Right,
yeah.
right. Yes. I even tell my friends, like, if you want me to be there, send me a calendar invite.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
don't care if it's a concert at 7 o'clock at night. Send
Hmm.
me a calendar invite, because if
Yep.
it's not on there, it does not exist.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
completely get
Absolutely.
that. I completely get that. In what you shared kind of as we were preparing for this interview is something that I just really kind of held on to because it is so powerful. You said respect the process before you rush the performance. And
Hmm.
now that I've learned so much about your background and your athletic background and um your vision going forward and how you're tackling that, I would love for you to kind of expand on that and tell
Mhm.
us like what that means to you.
Yeah. I'm not rushing anything. I've learned the hard way of, say, for example, I'm a painter as well. It's another hidden talent. Um, I have learned, like, if I'm rushing my art in general, it doesn't turn out the way I want it to.
Mhm.
Um, if I take my time with something, for example, I have a painting downstairs that I haven't touched in a year, but I know that like my skills continue to build. And when it's not always about when you feel ready because starting is always the hardest part. But
Mhm.
once you have started it, then it's like, oh, okay, no problem. I can add some brown over here and some gold over here, and it's gonna come together as beautifully as it can. So taking that and applying it to real life is, yes, I'm on a timeline for my campaign, but I'm going to take it very slowly. I'm going to break things down into maybe weeks or days kind of chunks of things,
Mhm.
especially with going back to like the media side of things. I was like, oh my gosh, I have 400 photos and I don't know how I'm going to post them all. It's okay. It's I have plenty of time to get all of them posted, to do whether they're carousels or reels or on TikTok or YouTube, and all of those things,
Mhm.
like those platforms are going to be there. And the more that I am integrating sponsors or partners and stuff like that, there's just going to be more content. And with a timeline like I've got right now, even beyond the pageant, let's just so happen say I don't end up winning. All of
Mhm.
that content goes right into the High Plains Legacy Writers Foundation. Like
Mhm.
we're still working towards something that's beyond the pageant itself, and it's bigger than just the pageant. It's bigger than just the title. It's for my community. It's for where we are in our nation.
Mhm.
And a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people don't have outlets. A lot of people are in maybe the same boat I'm in. Who knows, you know? And being able to be the voice on a platform is is it something I ever imagined? No, I thought I was going to be a Nuggets analyst, but that's okay. But that's okay. God has just called me to do something else.
Right.
And He has taken His time molding me to be this person. Lots of ups and downs, like a beautiful roller coaster.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love that you are, not only trusting the process, but being a good steward of
Mhm,
the gifts that you were given.
mhm,
One of the tenets of kinship for me is stewardship. And so
mhm,
not only, when it comes to land and legacy, but being good
mhm,
stewards of our gifts. I feel like when I come across just really compelling stories like yours and really interesting people, it is because they stewarded the gifts that they were given,
mhm.
even if, mentally they're like, oh, this is what I'm supposed, I
Yeah.
just need to have an answer for what I'm going to be when I grow
Yeah. Yeah.
up.
Right. Right.
But then things emerge for them that take them in a direction, and instead of fighting that,
Hmm.
they're like, oh, sure, let's go. That this sounds great. This opportunity meeting preparation has turned into a life that is so much better than you could have even planned for
Absolutely.
yourself. So I love that. I love when I hear stories of that happening.
Yeah. Mhm.
What is something that you would actually, no, I'm gonna do this in the derby round. This was gonna be my final question, but we'll do something that I've done in the past on the podcast. And it's called the derby round. These are like lightning round questions. Um,
Okay.
sometimes they're quick answers, and sometimes I'm not saying that the answer has to be just one word,
Okay.
unless that's part of the part of the question. But just lightning fast answers. First thing that comes to mind of
Mhm.
whatever the answer is. So, are you ready for the derby round?
I'm ready for the derby round.
Awesome. Okay, so first question: what does the perfect day off look like for you?
Ooh, perfect day off is it's probably 73 degrees outside. The sun is out. It's not Colorado bipolar weather. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
A beautiful cup of Joe
Mhm.
and some horses just playing in the pasture.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Do you prefer to ride in the morning or in the evening?
Ooh. Again, going back to Colorado's bipolar weather, it's safer to ride in the morning than it is in the afternoon because you could get a shower or it could be snowing or something random. So
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
morning for me.
Okay, okay. What is one thing that horses have taught you about leadership?
Ooh, the horse I'm working with now is really teaching me patience. He's teaching me I can still be alpha or in charge,
Mhm.
and it's okay to take my time.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah. What is one piece of Western fashion that makes you feel most like yourself?
Ooh, my hats. I have five just in great hats, and then I have like four other rodeo like just cowboy hats, and I love
Mhm.
all of them.
I love that. What is one thing people underestimate about preparing for a national title?
The amount of publicity that you have to do. Like
Mm.
there's no hiding behind anything. There's no, I'm gonna post one video a month and think that you're gonna make a difference. Like, no, sorry. I like in broadcast journalism, we learned a lot, like there has to be consistency,
Mhm.
and that is something that's like non-negotiable.
Yep, yep. When you feel pressure before a big moment, what do you do to center yourself or ground yourself?
I used to do this. I used to do this for broadcast journalism, okay? There's a couple of times it's called MMJ where I'm the multimedia journalist and I'm on site by myself. So I've had to do a few of those. I had to set up the tripod, the camera, figure out my questions and interview, record, and then do post. When that happens, I like have a major like mini panic attack. And then I'm like, okay, I'm cool. Like, whew, all right, I got through that part. I freaked out for no reason, and now I'm good. So it's okay to have little mini panic attacks, but you have to remember to take a deep breath. That is another thing when you're riding, you have to be calm. Like, if I'm tense and my horse feels I'm tense, he's gonna move tense, and it's more scary that way. So, yep.
Yeah. So don't avoid the freak out. Just
Yeah,
have it and get through
yeah, mhm,
it.
yep, yep.
I love that. What is one kind of Colorado Western or horsey fact or story that you wish more people knew?
Ooh, okay, that's a great one. Um, there is a town here in Colorado. It's not Durango. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the town, but it was kind of like the history of Oklahoma, where it was a black-owned town, and they had their own businesses, they had their own structure, and they were a thriving town. And then, of course, corporate America came in and wiped it all out, gentrified it. So
Mhm.
um, I'm kind of on a mission to seek out some of the people that were there. Um, Something that is very publicly known, actually, is that the Mallorys live down in southern Colorado, and they were a part of the Jordan Peele's High Horse documentary. And I'm working on going down there to see them, to see how we can partner and I can support them on a platform as well. Not that they need my help, but like we might as well team up as we're in the same state, kind of on the same goal and on the same path. So
Yeah, yeah, awesome. What is one piece of tack, gear, or your wardrobe that you refuse to cheap out on?
oh, my jeans.
Mm.
Shout out to Kimes Jeans. They sent me a PR package and I have three of my favorite pairs of jeans from them. I'm actually wearing one right now and I love riding in them because they're long enough. And then I like after you wash them once and you kind of do like your own hand stretch when they air dry, oh, they're just the best things to ride in.
I
I
love
was a Levi's girl. I was a Levi's girl, but they were not making jeans long enough
it.
for long legs.
Mm-hmm.
So shout
Mm-hmm.
out Kimes.
What is one either song, podcast, movie, or book, one piece of media that you have come across that has really changed the game for you?
I probably stick with like Instagram, social media in general.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really my algorithm has kind of catered to at one point in my life I thought I was going to be a part of like a rating program.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've ended up following all those platforms and stuff like that, and they linked off to other people who are very, very educational in the horse world. And they the social media is also an educational platform itself. It's like, yeah, you can like believe this or believe that, but there's also people on here that are teaching you to do certain things, and it's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, last question. What advice would you give to a young Black or biracial rider who feels like they do not belong?
Roll your shoulders back, stick your chest out, pull your chin up, and keep going. Like, it's okay because there have been people who have walked in your shoes before you, and they are paving the way for you. We are paving the way together. Don't think you're alone in this.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your passion, your process, your expertise on Black in the Saddle podcast, and I look forward to following your campaign and everything you do in the future.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Black in the Saddle. Subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting player and over on YouTube. You can also join us on Patreon. We started that new this year, and that is where the behind the scenes lives, okay? Behind the scenes of episodes, of events that we're planning this year, and much, much more. So I cannot wait to see you over there.